Let your patriotic values guide how you invest your money and save for your future. With Monorail's Patriot Portfolio, your investment dollars get out of globalist corporations and into companies that support Christian and American values. Monorail is perfect for anyone who wants to learn how to invest their money like a pro, or a conscious-minded investor that wants to put their money where their values are. Open an account today at monorail.com/Kirk. That's monorail.com/Kirk. Yeah, thank you.
How's it going, Charlie?
Everything's been so polite today. Yes, 1 second. Yes, sir.
First of all, I just want to say, man, I'm excited to see you. I watch your videos all the time. I disagree heavily, and I originally wanted to come up here and maybe troll, but I actually have a genuine question for you. And my question to that is, why is it that you are in strong support of religious values being instilled as American values and protected by the Constitution when our founding fathers kind of tried to stray away from a instillment of a specific religion on the entire country?
Well, I would reject the premise, but let's just kind of let's ask you, by what standard do you think we should live by?
Standard in the country?
Just as humanity, what should we say is good or evil, and where should we get that from?
I think that we should have a set amount of values that come from what we as a society kind of create, and that can be contributed by a mix of different religions and perspectives and opinions, which is why I disagree with the instillment of a specific religion on the entire country.
So I'll tell you what I believe. I believe specifically the 10 Commandments is a great place to start. What would you say are rules for life, and where do we get them from, and why should we believe them?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so again, like I said, I think that a lot of things we can point to the Bible, we can point to the 10 Commandments, we can point to a lot of these teachings, and we can say, okay, here's a good set of values that we have that are outlined in the 10 Commandments, in the Bible, and stuff like that. But we can also, what that raises the issues of is what that does for the rest of the country. Because if you flip that logic and you applied it to, let's say, values of Islam, values of Hinduism, values of Buddhism.
We weren't founded on those values, though.
Correct.
Right?
We were not founded on those values, but also I think that just because we were founded on beneficial values of a specific religion does not mean that we as a country should look to solidify the entire country in religion. And what we're seeing a lot in government is more religious involvement. We're seeing a lot of money.
Which we should. We should have a ton more religious involvement. And the reason primarily being is if America goes secular, it will lose its mind.
Would you agree then?
And we're seeing that.
Would you agree with if the president elected was Muslim or had a different religion than you? Would you also?
Well, let's take Vivek. I mean, Vivek is a Hindu, but Vivek would come up here and say the 10 Commandments is one of the greatest moral breakthroughs ever. The point being, and this is what I'm getting at, is that Christianity is the greatest ethic that humanity has ever had to live under.
Hold
on a second.
Sorry.
Christianity, as we know it, is the greatest moral ethic, and these are things you agree with. Love the stranger. Help others. Have justice.
Love thy neighbor.
Yeah, love thy neighbor as yourself, like Leviticus 19, right? These are beautiful teachings. In fact, they're so beautiful that you think that they're common, when in reality the rest of the world doesn't always have them. Even freedom of speech and natural rights and charity to the lesser, these are all Christian values. So what I'm getting at, though, is if we remove Christian values, which you may or may not be suggesting, what do we replace them with?
I guess my question is more centered around using taxpayer dollars. Well, I guess I can lead with a question. How do you feel about taxpayer dollars using to fund things like Bible teachings in public schools?
Yeah, I totally support that. The Bible is a historical document.
And so my question again is, how would you feel about taxpayer dollars going towards teachings of the Quran?
Well, they actually do that already.
And are you in support of it?
Hold on a second. Pause. We do have a religious texts of a lot of public schools. Yes, we should look at all religious texts of great faiths and learn and examine them. Okay, what does the Quran say? What does the Bible say? If it's in a public school.
But I think you know what I'm pointing at.
Sort of, but it's important to understand, though, that only one of those texts was believed and continued this country moving forward, which, of course, is the Holy Bible. And the teachings of the Bible were at 55 out of 56 of the signers of the Constitution were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. God is mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence, right? We were an explicitly Christian country. In fact, John Adams said that the Constitution was written wholly for a moral and religious people. It's wholly inadequate for the people of any other. I might not convince you on this. What I might convince you on, though, is that if you say Christianity should not be involved in our government, fine. You got to replace it with something. And if you say it's neutral, there's no such thing as a neutral public square. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that, and I'll be quick because I know there's other people I want to talk to. But what I'm saying is, I would say that I disagree strictly with a certain teaching, a certain religion being the basis of what we take all beneficial teaching that we apply to the United States.
Fine, but then who
from-
chooses the moral code?
I think that the people as a whole who
So
can represent different religions,
how do we
who
do
can
that?
represent different beliefs and opinions. It shouldn't have to come from a specific religion, because what does that one religion teach that the other opposing viewpoints or atheism can't teach?
Hold on
as
a
well?
second. No, that's an interesting question. What does Christianity teach that others do not? A lot. A lot. For example, in Christianity explicitly, there are beliefs that are not found in Buddhism or Hinduism. And again, just look at the fruit. The West is a Christian project. So why would we cut the fruit from its vine? Why would we cut the flower from its roots?
Yeah, and my question is because I think that there's a lot of disagreeing points of view that conflict that, right? Abortion rights. I know that it is a largely Christian value to not be in support of a woman's right to choose whether or not she has an abortion.
to protect
and I know
innocent
that
life,
you
for
are
sure.
also anti-democracy, and
Well, I'm pro-elections, but yeah.
yes, and you're opposed to just the majority ruling over the rest of people, right? And so why is it that you are in support of people that make up the slight majority having power to instill legislation and rules and laws that their religion teaches on the rest of the society?
Again,
is what I'm saying.
First of all, you can't have a free society without having some sort of a belief in God.
So then why should we use Christian teachings to apply that to the rest of society when they disagree with them?
First of all, it's the best. Show me a better alternative. No, seriously, I mean, you can laugh at it. Show me a society that has gone away from Christianity and has improved itself.
What I'm saying.
No, it's important.
Okay.
I believe that America should remain Christian. Show me a formerly Christian country in Europe that has gone away from Christianity and has become a better, stronger, more better.
What I would point you to is probably towards a country that does not apply those values to things like abortion rights. So I'll probably point you to I'll probably point to Norway. I'd probably point you to a lot of the places like that, because they're not having people die from lack of access to abortion.
And this is where we just have disagreement. I
probably
think
what I'd
Europe
say.
is a disaster right now.
Okay.
I think Europe is
what-
a husk of its former self.
What I'm arguing is that I'm saying in the specific areas of that there's not people literally like dying because they're forced to give birth to a human that they don't want to carry and they don't have proper access to abortion, and those are Christian teachings that are not.
Yeah, in this
being
country
questioned.
we have babies literally dying in the womb every single day.
Yeah. I mean,
3,000 abortions a day.
I mean, I think that's a big deal, but I also at the same time, there are those same Christian teachings.
I would just ask again. You don't have to answer it. This is an interesting question for you, and I want you to think about this for the next week or two.
Okay.
The most important book in my life, of which all
the
truth
Bible.
stems from, is the Bible.
Correct.
What is your most important book?
The Right-Wing Revolution by Charlie Kirk.
Without the troll, though, but it's important because at some point you have to appeal to something. You have to have a rule book. Every species, all human beings need a rule book for life. We tell you what our rule book is. I know it's like putting you on the spot, but think about it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a rule book, you're lying to yourself. Everybody has a rule book you live by. You just got to tell us what it is.
Fair enough.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you, man.
Charlie.
Think about that, okay?
Can I get a hat?
Yes. I ran out.
Damn it.
Yeah. Okay. Think about your rule book.